Hey y'all. So if you haven't already, please go check out the video on my page that's called Short Story Sleeping with the Enemy. Soul Ties Are Real. This will be the full story of what I spoke about on that video. Go check that video out because I said a lot. I said a lot and it's packed with so much information. Before I get started with the story, we must discern people's motives through the door. There's no in between. Either someone comes and it's a God sent person, or someone comes and they literally have motives of the enemy. It's not no in between. It's not no, all this person have good and bad motives for me. You see how that sound? Like, that don't even sound right. It's either this or it's either that. And just because we encounter people, that don't mean that, and we speak to people, we encounter people, that doesn't mean that these people are meant to have access to us. God has a destiny for you, and the enemy has an assignment to destroy that destiny. He's very crafty, period. Like, that's just how he is. And we must keep track and keep inventory within ourselves. We must know our triggers, our low areas, our weak areas. Once we know our weak areas and we know, oh, when this happened in my life, I tend to do this, or in this area I need to be strengthened because this and that. Like, we must keep it real with ourselves. So then when we face with these specific situations, then we can be real with ourselves and step back and have that moment to be like, okay, let me figure this out because this is literally a weak area of mine. And if I take this route, the same thing gonna happen again. You see what I'm saying? If I take a different approach due to me knowing my weakness, if I take a different approach and go about it a certain type of way, then you will get a better result. So I'm about to get into the story. Y'all, I encourage you to just really sit back and listen to the things that I'm going to say. Please share this with someone because it's very valuable information. I don't mind sharing these type of things with anyone because we're people, we're human. Somebody else out here going through it and they can't put their finger on what's been going on, or someone else out here going through it and they feel like they are literally alone, and you aren't alone. It's people out here who, if they hear a specific person say something, then it'll set them free or it'll help them and bring them the revelation they need. So y'all, I may break this into 2 parts. Just chill, do what you gotta do, make sure the volume cool, and just hit me out. So, all right. So y'all, I was in a very vulnerable state when I met this man. I'm gonna call him Kel. So when I met Kel, I was in a very vulnerable state. At the time, I come from a background of just toxicity. Like, things were toxic with my family, my people and stuff. So I was in a very vulnerable state. Some stuff just kicked off and I was being persecuted. Coming from my own family. So as long as I can remember my teenage years, like as soon as I became a teenager, 13, my outlet became seeking male approval and things of that sort. And then at the age of 16, I started smoking to mask the pain, to escape. Like, I was just always high. Like, once I started smoking, I just was always high, smoking, things of that sort. So when I would go through things with my family or just go through things in life, I would escape by approval of man, woman, or I just, smoke, drink, and etc. All these different type of things. So fast forward, I was on a spiritual journey. Again, like I mentioned to y'all, I come from a certain type of background, so I was called to break many curses off of my family. So that makes me the outcast of my family. Many do not understand me. So I was on my spiritual journey. It was just me and God for some time. I left my family behind and I moved out of town and I started my journey from there. God started revealing to me different type of generational curses and the forces that I was battling with. I would fast and pray and things of that sort, watch sermons, self-deliver and all these things. So really breaking stuff in the spirit. Like I was really fighting head on, face to face with these ancestral forces. I have a history as well during this course on my spiritual journey of backsliding, unfortunately. And by the grace of God, God has been keeping me. So fast forwarded because I can get super, super, super detailed, but I just want to include the things that really matter. So basically, I was on a fast when I met Kel. I wasn't thinking about nobody. Wasn't thinking about dealing with a dude or anything like that because not too long ago, before that, few months before that, after fasting and praying for 8 months, fighting with different things, I ended up returning back to my hometown and falling back into the same things that I prayed and asked God to bring me out of. So then immediately it started to become super heavy on me, like, okay, go back to where you were. So I end up going back to the state that I was at. I end up going back out there and just really on my journey. So once I came back, I was really serious about not falling back into, the sexual sins, because during those 8 months, I was praying and breaking soul ties off of me as well. God was showing me how I was hindered. I was being hindered due to me and to the people who I attached myself to, due to the doors that I had opened. Like, y'all, I was fighting against so many different things because I didn't know. I didn't know that lay down with somebody, these type of things happen. I just didn't know. So I'm breaking different type of stuff off me. I'm coming out of agreement with the things that I said, the things that I did, etc., etc. So during the time when I met Kel, I was fasting. I was fasting against the spirit of double-mindedness, because though I wanted to do God's will, I also wanted to do my own will, and I couldn't receive much revelation if I just kept going in between different type of, one minute I'm here, next minute I'm there, next minute I'm this, the next minute, like, you have to break these type of things off of you because it puts a mental stronghold on you and it can hinder you. It's different type of spirits that's in place that can truly hinder you, and they have legal rights. So I was fasting against double-mindedness. So let me just put this out here. As I was on my way to the gym, because I met him at the gym, as I was on my way to the gym, this was the same person who kind of cut me off, and he was driving, like, it's so deep, y'all. So he was basically driving. He was like super upset at me. Like, he was really upset at me with the way he was driving. I didn't even know that this was the same dude that ended up approaching me a little later on in the story, until I ended up seeing his car and stuff just started back clicking to me. So he was hurrying up and trying to hurry up and get to the same gym that I was on my way to, and I met him at the gym. So it was kind of weird because he was like moving with urgency to get to the gym before I got there, because at first I was in front of him. So fast forward, we're at the gym, and I'm fasting against the spirit of double-mindedness, and I'm not thinking about nobody, not thinking about none of that type stuff. Like, I'm thinking about just getting back right with God. So out of nowhere, I felt somebody staring at me. So we ended up at the gym. I felt somebody staring at me, and I had in my ear, I believe it was either a sermon or I was listening to a book on Audible, and I'm just listening to it or whatever. I felt somebody staring at me, so I looked, and when I looked, I seen him, and I locked eyes with him for a minute, like a good 20 to 30 seconds. To be honest, y'all, keep it real, this wouldn't be the type of dude that I would find much interest in. Meaning, if I just seen him or whatever, I wouldn't think nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't, how can I say this? Like, it was just, just somebody who I wouldn't try to, deal with and stuff like that. So, it was odd, like we locked eyes, and it was a strong, like, I don't know, it was very strong when we locked eyes, and I was just like, it was intense. That's the word I'm looking for. It was super intense. Like, we looked at each other in each other's eyes for like 20 to 30 seconds. Now I'm gonna pause right there just for a second. Y'all, is definitely, look, bewitchment is definitely real, and the more I get on with this story, the more that y'all will see how whenever I discuss this story, I always let people know that I was bewitched and I felt it, because when I looked at him, something happened in them few seconds that I looked at him. It was very intense. Again, I told y'all, this ain't no type of dude who, as soon as I see him, I'll be looking at him like, oh, okay. And plus, I don't do that anyway. Even if a dude look good or whatever and stuff like that, I'll look and I'll probably be like, oh, okay, he nice looking, but I don't just sit there and stare and do it. I just don't. It's not no big headed thing, but I just don't like doing the whole staring thing and all of that. I just don't. So when I looked at him, and he was just looking at me the whole time, like, cause I felt him staring at me. It was super intense. As I look back on it and things like that, and when the veils and stuff fell off my eyes, I was like, dang, okay, that's really what happened. So I was bewitched. Y'all have to be careful out here when we just look at people into our eyes. I'm a person, when I talk, I look you directly in your eye and do things and stuff like that. But y'all, at the same time, it can be a dangerous thing too. That's why sometimes I notice, like, I look people in the eyes, but sometimes I have this feeling to look away, things of that sort, and it's deep. Okay. Fast forward anyway. So the look was super intense, and out of nowhere, it was just like I stopped listening to either the sermon or the Audible. So on Audible, I had different spiritual books or whatever, just teaching me how to break certain like deliverance books and just different stuff like that, all on Audible. Like, that's majority of what I will be listening to if on my Audible account. So I don't know, well, I think I cut it off or whatever, and it was just like this heaviness of just lust came over me, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It was just like this heavy feeling of lust just kind of came pushing through. And I was, just like, dang, okay. Like, he was looking at me and this, and that. And mind you, again, I didn't really find this dude my cup of tea. So he ended up coming into the room or whatever, because it was at Planet Fitness. So y'all know how the rooms be sectioned off in the gym. It's like the part where most of the equipment is at, and then they have separate rooms and stuff. So I went into the room or whatever and just working out in the next room. So he ended up coming over there. He approached me, and I just remember me replying in more of a sensual type way. Literally, I'm not making this up, y'all. It was just like sensual. Like, I really didn't think much of it, knowing that I didn't really want this man. But out of nowhere, it was just like, oh, okay, this and that. Like, we said a few words, and then I was asking questions and stuff like that. And then he was like, I'll answer that once I take you out. I was like, oh, okay. This, and that. And fast forwarded. So I end up asking him how old he was. And it's a huge age gap too, y'all. So I end up asking him how old he was. He told me. I told him how old I was and things of that sort. So fast forwarded, fast forwarded, fast forwarded. Like we went on the dates and just different stuff like that. Fast forwarded, fast forwarded, fast forwarded. Now, another pause. Not all, but a lot of times where there's an age gap, it comes with manipulation. Where there's an age gap, it comes with manipulation. Not all times, because you get some people who truly like don't care, and that person have good intentions for you. They have good intentions for you, and it just happens to be this way. Y'all end up having chemistry and things of that sort, and y'all can go far with one another. It's not perverted. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of the times where there's an age gap, there's a motive in place, and it comes with manipulation. Me and him had a huge age gap and things of that sort, and this was a red flag to me as well. Now, because of the father issues that I have, this man was able to come in to kind of pull strings with those things. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So eventually my guard started being let down. It was like after I kicked it with him and things of that sort, I wanted to go back into smoking. Now, he wasn't a smoker, but he would drink wine and things of that sort. So soon as I met him and kicked it and did all that type of stuff, talked to him and all that, I wanted to start back smoking. So when I smoked, a lot of the times I will be more on a numb state and just real, just laid back, etc. And to be honest, when you smoking and things of that sort, it can throw you off spiritually, because it can cloud your judgment. Like, you would just be in a certain type of state of mind and you aren't sober minded type stuff. Different things can come and operate when you're not sober. As it's written, we must be vigilant. We must be sober minded, because the enemy is seeking whom he may devour. Like, that's how it is. So I started kind of backtracking, because I wanted to stop smoking and things of that sort. I wanted to fast. I wanted to pray, do all those different things, so I can continue to break this stuff off of me. So fast forwarded, I started smoking again, and start drinking and stuff like that again, and watching corn pretty heavy. So just off of the few encounters or whatever, I fell into that, and so it opened me up. And so eventually we start messing around. So coming into the situation with him, during them months and stuff where I was just to myself, fasting, praying, crying out to God, a lot of things had broken off of me. So I felt cool within, like I'm going through the motions, but overall I feel all right. You see what I'm saying? I had a peace of mind, and those circumstances were tough and things of that sort, and I ain't have really nobody in my corner at all but God. I still had a sense of peace in the midst of all that I was going through. And so when I started messing with him and we started being intimate, I started to notice that things began to change within me. So he was more of and some of you all can feel me on this. Those of you who just have a certain type of a light to your personality. You're just vibrant, That's how, I was and I am just vibrant, a sweetheart, encouraging, a go-getter, just different stuff about me. That's just how it is. Life of the party, just I bring a certain type of peace and comfort into a room. You see what I'm saying? So that's just how it is, and it's a blessing to be that way. And I have a lot of personality, like I'm just bubbly. That's how it is. And so with him, he was more of a quiet type person and stuff like that. And y'all, we have to be aware of people who we getting to know and who we deal with, and they're just quiet. Like all the time, you found yourself having to extend yourself. One day I'm gonna make a video about that, because don't get me wrong, it's people out here, and they're naturally just more on the quiet side, but they don't have no bad motives. They're just more observant, and they don't really, say much, have much to say and things like that. But it's not a bad thing. They could be shy or just different stuff like that, and etc. I'm not talking about those who quiet and they mean no harm. There's a certain type of thing of, and go check out my video too. I spoke about it's in what people don't say. It's in what people don't or won't say. I had just dropped that video, and there's a such thing as like a dangerous type quiet, where people are around you and they're quiet, but it's to get you to overextend yourself, to and this is a spiritual thing as well. So if you like dealt with abandonment or rejection and people pleasing and things of that sort, these type of people usually will come around. And again, it's spiritual. They'll usually just come around, and motive behind that is for you to over talk, to over please, because there's a certain type of it's like a certain type of response that you unknowingly put yourself into, because it kind of brings back the abandonment and rejection, or how you have to do things for others' approval, or just got to know how that person is feeling right away, or you have to overextend yourself to get that person to open up. Like it puts you in just like a chaotic state of mind, just many different things that dangerous quiet can do to you, because you're just like, okay, why this person not talking? What's going on? Like what's this, what's that? Okay, maybe I can bring them out of this by me sharing more of what I got going on, and sharing more about myself, so they can feel comfortable, so they can open up, and what's going on. This is like, it puts you at in a chaotic state of mind, only to overextend yourself, only for this person to know what route to take with you, to get more information out of you, so they can know how to manipulate you more. And so they know, so these spirits within these people can know how to hurt you and disarm you and make you just like try to bring you to your knees, basically. So that's how it was with him. Like, another thing is when it's like a dangerous type quiet, it's because these people don't want you to really see who they truly are. When you speak less and things of that sort, when you speak less and you just like observing more, that it's like a certain type of motive. This person don't want to say something or do something that can blow their cover. They get to talking too much and doing those things, then you can start to discern. Especially if you're someone who naturally have discernment, you may meet a lot of people who come around with this dangerous dangerous type of quietness. You see what I'm saying? If you get me, you get me. So basically, I gotta break it down piece by piece so you can see where I'm coming from. But I'm about to really get into it. So let's talk about it. So, a lot of times I would find myself meeting dudes who didn't have much personality, that much personality. Not all the times, but I noticed that I will encounter dudes who's just not much much of a personality and things of that sort. So he was really it was like he was trying to be skilled with not doing too much type stuff. He just was dry, didn't have much, much personality. So we messed around and I began to check inventory with them myself. Now it's been a few times he would say stuff that'll throw me off and I'd be like, dude, what? Like, and he was very resentful towards he was divorced twice. So he had bitterness, anger, and just different things of that sort. So when we would talk and things of that sort, he would just keep bringing these things up. So I was able to pick up like, okay, he got these type of things going on. Like he's angry, he's a bit bitter and stuff like that. Boom. So after doing something with him the first 3 times, even the first time after I did it, I felt super bad. And I'm going to make a video as well about the feelings, how you feel after breaking your celibacy journey or your abstinence journey, the feeling after that. And the type of things and emotions that you go through, because I can speak about that topic heavy, y'all. But I felt bad because I was like, this is not what I wanted to do. I was just praying and fasting and crying to God about breaking soul ties, and now I end up back into the same situation. So I already felt bad, but I started to notice within myself, I started to feel super angry, y'all. Again, like I told y'all, he was angry. Like he was just, he would try to not show it, but he would talk about, you got to listen to what people keep talking about and what they say, because if they keep talking about the same thing, these are the things that they're ruminating on. These are the things of, this is their perception that they're telling you about. This be their motives and just different stuff. Like when you really hear people talk, you will understand what their heart posture is, because whatever come out the mouth is what's in the heart, and that's written. You see what I'm saying? So just keep saying stuff about these type of things. And I started to check inventory with them myself, and I'm like, why do I feel so angry? Like, and I feel like this heavy emotion of just sorrow. Like I just felt so angry and upset. And so I noticed this the first 2 times. And then the first 3 times, I'm going to tell you, like the 3rd time, that was when I was just like, okay, something truly is wrong. But like the first 2 times, I was like, I'm seeming a bit just angry and heavy out of nowhere, just having like, out of nowhere, just crying and stuff like that, just angry. And at first, I wasn't just like that. You see what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like that. By the 3rd time, I'm really picking up on how fatigued I am. So I'm like, okay, I seem a bit angry and just sad out of nowhere, and I'm starting to really feel fatigued. Like I feel super, super tired. And then not only that, I'm falling deeper and deeper into the smoking once again. The watching corn, like I'm like deep in at this point, and it keep happening, and I'm filled with just different things now, different emotions, because again, y'all, when I met him and we did like that, and we stared at each other, and I didn't understand why I was just like staring back at him and things of that sort. In that hour, something happened. Literally at that moment, something happened. After that, that's when I fell back into those things. And so I'm just like, what's going on? But it was deeper this time, and it was to pollute me, and it was to disarm me spiritually. So let's keep going. So I'm starting to realize that this is taking a toll on me, and I was just like, you know what, something isn't right about this dude. And if you all don't know, I am a woman of God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in Christ. That's a powerful name to me. I've used that name and it broken so many things out of me. So if you are someone who you are big on the names and what I should call him and what we should call him, yeah, we not gonna get into that because I'm already sharing the story. But yeah, no, that name Jesus Christ have always worked for me. See what I'm saying? I'm a woman of God, and I take seriously, like, okay, when I meet people, I be trying to figure out, like, what's your walk like with God? Do you believe in Him and things of that sort? Do you believe in His Son and things of that sort? So this man say that he was a man of God or whatever, but I was getting, time and time again, I was getting like vibes from him that it was like he was more on something sinister. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was like, it just seemed like he had some sinister things going on. And I was like, something just isn't right. Like, something isn't right. So he was saying that he believed in God, but in other ways, it was just something hidden, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. So at this point, I don't know why I'm still messing with him. So by the third time, I started to realize, I was like, you know what? I really don't want to do this no more. I'm tired of like messing with this man. I'm tired. So when I would do something with him, after I leave him, even like once I get in the car and about to leave, I would literally block him. And I'd be like, you know what? I'm done messing with him. At this point, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not messing with him. So out of nowhere, I would just feel this pull every single time. I'd be like, I'm done messing with him. Out of nowhere, it was like this pull. And it would be this heavy, heavy, heavy. When I say y'all heavy, strong pull, I'll be cool. And I'll be like, okay, I'm not about to do this. I'm not watching corn. I'm not about to smoke. I'm not about to do this. And then out of nowhere, it'll come off heavy. Like, do this, do this, do this, do this. And to go get him my body. So I would keep going through this thing where I go, okay, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but for a certain amount of time, it was just like this 2 week span. It was like this 2 week time clock on me. And when I would separate myself from him, it'll just come over, this heavy, strong feeling to give myself to him will come over me. And it's been times I realized and I noticed that I started to cry, and I was crying out to God literally with tears, y'all. And I was like, God, please, I don't want to keep doing this. I want to leave this man alone. Like, what's wrong? Why do I keep feeling this? And at the time, y'all, resources is really drying up. Like, I was already going through a hard time, but at this time, resources really started to dry up for me. I was feeling more sad, more angry, just different things of that sort, and I wanted to just leave him alone. And I just was like, something ain't right. Like, why am I still messing with this dude? We don't have much in common. Like, I'm going this place, he going that place. What is going on? Why do I keep messing with him? So I just feel this heavy feeling. Every time I would reach out to him, y'all, every time I would reach out to him, he will always be like, I would literally call, and he'll pick up within the first few rings. I would text once I unblock him, and he'll respond like right away. He was always available. So, short thing that I want to say is, when it comes to destroy you, y'all, the door's going to be open. The door's going to always be open for you to fall and to destroy yourself. So all this big-headed stuff that people have going on, like, oh, they can't leave me alone, or how you can come back into somebody's life no matter this and that. You got to understand the door is going to be always open to destroy yourself, period. So when you ready to fall, I remember me and this a person who I was once cool with, me and her said this, and I'm gonna get back to the story, but me and her said this, like, she was like, you will find people a lot of times, they always in the same place where you left them at. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. I was like, they always be there so you can come and destroy us. Like, you can always count on, if you turn back now and you try to talk back to some of the same people, a lot of the times them people be in the same place, and they'll invite you right in because it's to destroy you. And if they don't, y'all, that's because, guess what, the enemy couldn't really use that, because the enemy probably couldn't use that person anymore because that person couldn't destroy you as much, so now he got to use a new face. So even if that person, if they did, used to be on that stuff and on that destructive stuff towards you before, if you go back and you can't really get a hold of them, it's not because of that, that they're not trying to do it. A lot of times it's probably because the enemy want to use a new face. Because the enemy like, oh, okay, I couldn't really destroy this person when I was using them. So I got to use a new face. I got to step my game up because they figured that person out already. That's why they're no longer talking. Okay, now back to what I was saying. Look, so every time I reach out, like immediately, he was ready. It was like he was waiting on me to hit him up, like waiting. So I found myself kept doing, kept falling into it, and more I'm being spiritually drained. So I started to watch an exchange go on. So how I was happy and vibrant and meeting him every time after we do us, I would notice he got all this energy. He's super vibrant. He this, he that. And then I would notice myself acting more and more like him. Acting more like standoffish and angry and just different type of stuff. And I would like see him have more energy and I'd be in a bed tired and drained and just things of that sort. He going around getting stuff done, and at this point I'm just sitting there like, just tired, sluggish. So y'all, I'm gonna get into the top part of this story. So one day God allowed me to see what was really going on. So one day I come over there, y'all, and I'm well rested and things of that sort. I wasn't tired at all. So we end up doing us and things of that sort. And when I came there, I remember he was just, I'm not sure, I can't really remember if he said he was tired or not or what was going on, but he was just, I know that he had work that day, and I was off and I came over there and stuff of that sort, and I just was well rested. I was cool, like, and so we end up doing us or whatever. So I remember just laying there because at this time, that was when I started to realize I've been new or whatever, because I was like, something is going on with my will. I was like, I keep messing with this man and I don't want to mess with him. Like, I don't want to have sex with him. I don't want to do none of this. Why am I keep going back to this man? Something is not right. And why am I turning more into him? But I already had, y'all, again, because remember I told y'all I was fasting and praying against soul ties and stuff like that. So I already had the revelation. I knew I wasn't supposed to be messing with this man. I knew the dangers and the effects of soul ties. I knew. So this is the bad part, because I knew and I was going against my will. So the thing was, my will was hijacked. The will is part of the soul. So my will was hijacked and I kept messing with him. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't for the life of me understand why I kept messing with him. And so I was tired of this. By this time, like, I'm really within myself, I felt like trash because I kept messing with this dude and I kept watching how he was turning more into me and I was turning more into him, and it was bothering me. So at this time, once we finished doing us or whatever, I'm just laying there, and at this point I was super tired. Like, after me and him did what we did, I was so sluggish and tired. But I remember I just came there not too long ago and I was feeling cool, refreshed, things of that sort. So he's just full of energy. And at this time, I'm just in the bed, just stuck. And I asked him a question. He was like, oh, no, that's not, no. I'm just not tired. And then I was like, oh, you not tired, huh? So at this point, I knew what had just happened. Something deep within when he was telling me something was exchanged again. I was like, something going on. And so, y'all, hear me and hear me clearly. Hear me and hear me clearly when I say this, y'all. So, though I was in the midst of wrong, God allowed me to see this. Hear me out. I began to pray within my mind because he wasn't tired, but I was super tired. Like, I felt heavy, y'all. Like it was a ton of bricks just laying on me. Like, I felt so heavy and just, like, I can't really describe the feeling, but I just felt so sluggish and tired and drained. And I was like, oh, you're not tired, huh? I began to pray in my mind. I asked God, I'm like, Heavenly Father, any transactions or exchanges or transference of spirits, Heavenly Father, break in Jesus' name. I rebuke and I reject and cancel any transference of spirits and this and that. Like, I get the praying just fast, just in my mind. And y'all, I cannot make this up. Immediately, are y'all listening? Immediately, the man start yawning. Remember what I just said. The man started yawning, y'all. And then literally after 1 minute, he fell asleep. And guess what? All of my energy came back to me. Every single so I felt back myself. I felt more of, I just felt the energy that I came there with. I felt it again. And I'm not using energy in a new age term of that sort. I'm talking about just like the drive I had, the way I was able to basically navigate, how I wasn't tired, how I wasn't sleepy, how I, like things of that sort. I'm not saying it on no stuff like that, but I literally felt it all come back to me. And I watched this man yawn after he just told me he wasn't tired. After he just told me he wasn't tired, he began to yawn. He fell asleep after 1 minute and it came back to me. Y'all, I just told y'all that I was super heavy and I couldn't even, I barely could keep my eyes open. I was that tired after me and him did something. But then when I started to pray in my mind, that man fell asleep within a minute. Y'all, that is super, super deep. I was able to see firsthand this man has been hijacking and stealing from me spiritually. Hijacking and stealing from me spiritually. And the reasons why. I will feel that pull to come back to him every single time, and the reasons why he was available was because he was feeding and he was stealing those resources from me spiritually. He was draining me of my resources spiritually. He was exchanging these things, and I feel like he was 100% aware of it. Why I say that I feel like he was 100% aware of it? Because it's been a few times when I call him out on his mess. And y'all, that's why I say go check out my other video when I was talking about it's what they do or it's what they don't say or won't say. And and even earlier in this video, I talked about the dangerous quiet. People now wanted to address things once you bring it to their attention, how there's a motive behind that. So I brought it up to his attention a few times before, and I mentioned, I feel like you have other stuff going on. I feel like you robbing me of my youth. I feel like this and that. Just said all this stuff to him, and he never would address these things. He didn't address none of those things that I said. But even when I was speaking my truth to him about how I felt, I kept falling into messing around with him. I kept falling into messing around with this dude. I kept falling into it. And he wouldn't address these things, but the more and more I kept getting weak and I kept giving my body to him. I kept doing it back to back to back. So at this point, y'all, I seen it firsthand. Guess what? And many of you all will be able to identify with this, unfortunately. Guess what? I still didn't stop messing with him. After that, yes, I left the next morning. Many of you probably will be like, you know what? That's so scary. I would have hopped up and left. But y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is how you know that I was disarmed spiritually. That's how you know I still was going against myself. Something had my will. So I left, and when I left, I stopped messing with him for a while. But then I started back again. I think I went a few months, stopped talking to him, because I would start to, because I would start to get so tired of what he would. I start to get tired of messing with him, and I was tired. And I was tired. And I knew something was wrong, so I would begin to create for real distance between us. Even when I would feel it, sometime I would just pray and I would leave it alone. But then eventually, after those few months, I would break down and I would call him. Guess what? Each and every single time, and even when I changed my number, thinking that I was going to just leave it alone, when I would hit him up off a different number, he would already know who it was, and he would respond immediately. And each time, he after a few months, every single time, always available, always available. Y'all have to be aware of those people who saying that they love and they care about you, but yet their actions aren't showing it. And it comes with manipulation, because a lot of the time these people are getting something from you. Even if you don't have certain type of resources physically, you have to understand and know spiritually these people be feeding off of you. When it comes behind that manipulation thing, they be having all type of stuff going and connected. So months and months at a time, I walked away and I stopped messing with him. And each time, and when I would come back, especially not talking to him for a while, he'd just be like, "Oh my goodness, I missed you," and this, and this, and that. Then I would give him me, and then he will go back to how he was. It will be the same cycle over and over and over and over. No, I didn't stop messing with him. But eventually I stopped for real messing with him. And then the very last time, I remember I put my foot down. I was like, I'm for real serious. I'm done messing with this dude. And I truly left it alone. And it was a time where after he came to see me. And after that, we did this or we did that. And literally afterwards, and he would always tell me that I'm his escape. So we would do stuff, and he would be feeling heavy, and he'd be feeling super heavy. And after each time, he'd get up and he cool. Then at this point now, I'm carrying the weight. So after that, the very last time that we did something, he got up out the bed and things of that sort. And again, I was feeling heavy. It never failed. And he got up like, yeah, because I'm going through this and I'm going through that. And I was just looking, I was like, and I keep letting this man touch me. And you keep coming and you dumping this stuff within my spirit and my soul. You keep dumping these things within my body. And you keep getting up and you keep. I was tired. And at that point, I was like, I'm done. I am so done. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of being with somebody who I'm not interested in. Like, I still wasn't interested in him, y'all. I still just wasn't interested in him. I just wasn't. I couldn't, to be honest, I couldn't really. He was cool, but then again, he wasn't cool to me. You see what I'm saying? I didn't understand for the life of me why I kept giving myself to him, why I kept messing with this man no matter what, going against my will, going against everything, going against God, going against myself. And man, another thing is that's super crazy about this whole story is that I had things set in my heart, the things that I wanted to do. And again, I did say it's an age difference, and it's a huge age gap. But it's certain things that I had set in my heart to do, but I never spoke to him about these things. It would just be things that I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Now, y'all, don't get me wrong. It's different things in different fields in this world. It's only so many things you can choose from. There's nothing new under the sun. So you will find and meet people who y'all may operate in the same type calling or the same type title or the same type gift, but it's all different. You see what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong, but hear me when I say this. I have things set in my heart that I wanted to do and I wanted to pursue. And out of nowhere, y'all, he would just start talking about these specific things that he said. He would tell me that he's seeking those endeavors, like he's doing it, like he's about to do it, or he's already doing it. But I didn't have the drive anymore to do these things. It was set in my heart to do it, and I wanted to do it, and I once had the vision of doing it. But guess what? Piece by piece, every time I would sleep with him, it would dry up. The desire to want to do these things would dry up, or I didn't know, or I was blinded to know how to do these things. The anointing felt like it was just dimming and dimming. You see what I'm saying? But he would start talking about these things. He like, yeah, I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. And it was just so weird because it would be specifically the things that I wanted to do. The things that God put in my heart to do. And so spiritually, what was going on was this man was stealing blessings from me. He was drying up my resources spiritually, and he was exchanging it for himself. And that's how he was able to keep doing these things. Like, things start to get bad for me, but I watch his life get better. And when I left him alone for a decent amount of time, I was able to get a real good job. Then I started back messing with him, and then eventually I was so mentally tormented that I stepped away from the job, and I was making a nice amount of money every week, getting paid every single week. And eventually I was so mentally tormented that I stopped going. For a while I had stopped messing with him. But I watched how stuff really started, because when I met him, he was going through a certain type of time, and I was okay. I was getting through, and I was going through some tough circumstances, but I was all right within. You see what I'm saying? I was all right within, in a way. And I met him, and he was just going through so much, and I literally watched everything shift that was happening to me. Like, stuff started. It was just weird. It was weird. Things started to get better for him, and things got worse for me. It's like we literally switched roles. We literally switched roles, y'all. From when I seen him, my life was in. My life was like basically seeing him, my life just turned. It was in for a turn. It was an exchange that happened when me and this man locked eyes with each other. He was staring, and I felt it. And I end up looking him back into his eyes, and something happened. Because for me to not find interest in someone, but still finding, like still engaging, even as deep and far as to allowing this man within my space, within my body. Again, the body houses our mind. The body houses our soul, our spirit. The body, this shell of a body, houses us. Houses the most intimate parts of us. If you think about an actual house, your actual house, your actual crib, we have different areas in the house. We have different rooms for different things, but your house is your safe haven. It's supposed to be. it's supposed to be. When you think about your house, you got important look, you got your important information within this house. You have resources within your house. You don't let just anybody into your house. Because if you let somebody in your house and you don't know much about them, anything can happen to you. They can come in, they can rob. They can, of course, rob, stealing, same thing. They can come in, they can steal. They can exploit stuff that's attached to these people. They can bring those things unknowingly or willingly into your home, just different reasons. When you think about a house, that's why in the Bible, and it speaks about the house and the seven more wicked spirits coming and dwelling within that. When it speaks about house, it's talking about the body that houses the soul. If I met this man, he had access to my body, and I didn't even find interest in this dude. We didn't even have much in common. It was just many different things. I want us, whoever you are listening, I want you, I want us, even as I tell a story and have to really sit back and think about what happened. We have to grasp, y'all, that life is not a joke and these things are spiritual. Men, even with y'all have to be careful. All this fashion stuff as well can pull and yield you in. I know how it is with women in their eyes as well. The charm, the deceit, the long lashes, the certain type of stuff that can pull and yield you in to look directly into the eyes, the ears, out a window to the soul. And to me, and what I be saying too, your genital area, your private area is a doorway to your soul too. I always say that. So your eyes, your ears, and even your private area is a doorway to your soul. Is a doorway to your soul. You can literally look somebody in the eye, and at that point things can change. So while we be thinking when we meet people and you look and the look was intense, it be way deeper. You can look somebody into the eyes and your life be changed forever. And you go down a dark hole just by look. It's crazy. Even the encounters you have, even simple encounters, even when somebody just tap and touch you, they have the ability. If we not prayed up and if we not discerning enough, these people have an ability to shift things into our, like, shift things in our life. That's why it's so important. That's why transference of spirits is so real, y'all. I was able to see when I laid down with that man and I started to pray. I watched it before my eyes. This man, I watched it shift. I seen it. And if I would have seen this spiritually, I think I would have been for real scared straight, and I probably would have just for real left it alone, man. I brought certain things to his attention. I talked about it. I said certain stuff to him, and he did not address it. It wasn't because now he ain't had time to argue because I came correct, and I wasn't, but I was just saying the truth. He didn't address those things because his cover would have been blown. So the thing is to keep it gray, to keep it, to not say anything at all, to keep it, because once somebody speak on it, that's when they're acknowledging it. Whether they're denying it or not, they're still acknowledging that you brought it up because they're trying to manipulate it. But even if they don't even sit back and acknowledge that, they think that it gives them an advantage, and they think that it gives them a way to cover things up. How is it that I will go time and time again, and then I will fall, and I'll be right back where I was for him? And how was it that he was always available? And how was it that things in his life started to get better, but things in my life got worse? Literally sleeping with someone who knew. He knew it's other things that happened, but I just want to keep it short. It's other things that happen as to how I really felt like this dude was. I really believe he was a warlock. I'm not gonna lie. I believe he was a warlock. He spiritually knew. And another thing about him, everything, because he had his own business. He's an entrepreneur. This man only worked around women, barely men at all. This man literally was siphoning energy. Trying to siphon the anointing. Stealing things from me spiritually. Blessings from me spiritually. Stealing resources from me spiritually. On some real stuff, y'all. And I'm going to keep it real. It's this big-headed thing about who go to sleep fast or who go to sleep the fastest after you get done doing. And I'm going to be real with y'all. After you get done doing what you do with somebody, all I put it on them, all this, and that, and all this other type of stuff. But what we don't know is something in the spirit realm. And this is the ones operating in. When we do this act, this is the truth. Something is going on in that time. It ain't just for physical. So that's why when a man and woman is operating in the correct way that God instructed, and they are both equally yoked, that's why they said that that's the best. Because God is in the center. God created sex, but He created order. And so when it's the right way, they say it's the best feeling. And a man and woman, it brings their bond closer. It strengthens them more. It strengthens them more even in God, because God designed it. It brings them even closer. So only imagine what it is that happens when we do this outside of His will. So for those who happily married and it's God's way, they will be on more of a better term, and they will reap blessings. But if we out here fornicating, and you out here getting a big head because who fell asleep quickest and who did this and who did that, you need to look at it, because something spiritually was exchanged. Something was altered in the spirit. I was talking to somebody, and she told me, even in the midst of her, when I shared that story with her, she was just like, I needed to hear this. She was like, I really needed to hear this. She was like, because that's exactly what I'm going through. She was like, girl, I'm glad that you told me this. And she told me even in the act between her and this dude who she going through so much stuff with now, who she have a strong soul tie with. Like when I say y'all, it's so strong, it's super strong. She said even in the midst of them doing the act, she will fall asleep and pass out in the middle of them doing what they do. And she feels so broken right now, y'all. She feels absolutely broken. She said she would lay in bed all day and feel so sluggish and so tired. And he out and about doing and taking care of business. And we sitting back getting big-headed about who falling asleep and who feel like this and who feel like that and putting it on somebody. Listen, something in that hour is being exchanged. Pay attention. If you somebody and you going through this and you find yourself falling again, or if you can think back from what just happened in them other times, I pray to God when as I'm saying this, that the veil comes off of your eyes. right now in Jesus' name. I pray as soon as you think back on it, that a revelation comes to you about what's been going on. I pray that the veils off your eyes, off your soul, be broken off and that they fall down in Jesus' name. Because when you look back and when you think back, think about how it was when you first started dealing with this person. Think about how you would feel afterwards after messing with this person. Think about the boundaries and the morals you have set, but then think about how it end up turning out once you start messing with this person. What happened? What happened? What be going on? How do you feel afterwards? Why is it that you can't leave this person alone? The more we lay down with these people, the more it takes from us. And the more power that they have to keep altering and stealing things from you spiritually. When I shared this with someone else, I got chills. She was like, girl, you need to share that. Girl, you cannot keep that to yourself. You need to share that. And when I say she said it 3 times and we both kept feeling chills, like when I told her this story, her mouth was just open. She was like, girl, I needed to hear that. You cannot hold that to yourself. You need to tell somebody. She was like, you know how many people that you will help if you tell your story? You need to say something. And I felt chills. I felt chills, y'all. I cannot hold this or sugarcoat or none of that. I don't mind sharing this. Somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to know that you are your soul is being altered. Your mind, your will, and emotions are being altered due to us keep doing these things with somebody who God did not call us to, and we doing it outside of covenant. It's different terminology. It's ungodly soul ties. Some people say energy vampires. These are spirits. These are demons. These are different type of things. It's so many different things that's taking place. These people have the ability to shift your destiny, to lead you to your demise. How is it that we be knowing these things? How is it, y'all, that I sat back and I knew that and I still messed with him after that? After me seeing that, that's because I was altered completely. So I ask you, how is it that you keep seeing that this person doing you wrong, doing you doing you bogus? In and out. And how could you sit back and still mess with this person? That's when we got to really sit back and say, wait, what's going on, bro? Something is not right spiritually. If I said I was going to cut them off, why I can't cut them off? Why as soon as I start back dealing with them, I pick up these bad habits and it seems worse off than it was before? Why is it that I'm trying to change, but then this person walk into my life, and ever since then I haven't been the same? Every time you set yourself on that path, sometimes the enemy can't get through to you by using old people because you overcame that. So he got to use new people with new strategies. He just use a new face, and that's how he do it. And so he'll use that person, and that person will do you in and out. And you would try to figure out why you can't fight certain addictions. And a lot of the time it be destructive. It'll be drinking, or it'll be smoking, or it'll be corn. We're constantly watching that, super deep into it. It'll even be sleeping around. Sometimes you can open yourself up. You can open yourself up dealing with this person. Then out of nowhere, you just start sleeping around. Even behind this person back. Or on this person. Or they just one of the people that's why connecting yourself with multiple people. That means spiritually, many people have connection to our spiritual resources. And that's why so many of us are battling mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Many have even been led to their demise We look at something and we see, and you know how many people, and it's so sad, y'all, who literally slept with the enemy, and they're no longer here because they ignored the signs, because they couldn't leave somebody alone, because their soul was so altered by this person, and they were so tied to this person that they're literally not here anymore. And we see it time and time again. So we must thank God for the grace on us. I have to thank God, y'all. We have to thank God. I fail. I will be on my journey and I'll be doing well. Next thing you know, boom. Fall hard on my face. And when I would go without not having sex, y'all, when I would go without not doing that, I felt so much better. And it's like soon as I go, just for a temporary feeling, y'all. And I remember even doing it and not even wanting to, but just trying to fill in a void, or just trying to just scratch an itch. And then come to find out I didn't even need it. It was like I had a void, and I wanted, and I craved intimacy. And so because my intimacy, my perception of intimacy was perverted, I thought that what I was feeling, I wanted that, but in reality, I just wanted intimacy. So y'all, I hope this really helped some of you. Please let me know if it's, ask any question that you want to ask. Let me know. Just let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please get this message out. Someone needs to hear this. Soul ties are real. These people have the ability to really, man, shift our destiny, lead us into our demise, steal from us spiritually, inflict your body can break down. You can literally start having sicknesses and different things that come about. It can literally bring on a sickness. We will reap what we have sown. So y'all, that's it. I really hope that this helped somebody out there. God loves you. Jesus loves you. Stay 10 toes down. Keep your eyes open. And I will talk to y'all soon. All love.